Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Monday, September 20th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. And boy, am I ready to get my coloring on. Start of a brand new week. Got some interesting projects for you to show. So welcome to all my Facebook peeps. Good to see everybody. Welcome to my chatters who chat in the room. And welcome to my lurkers who lurk and watch but don't chat. Either way, as long as you're learning something, we're in good shape. So do me, hi Mary, hello, hello, hello. Hello, Sandy. Sandy DeSanto has entered the room. Alrighty. So we've got a contest coming up. Dawn is, hi Maddie. Dawn is posting the particulars. I'm excited about that. Always fun to have a contest when Dawn is involved in it, and that's a good thing. All right, and welcome to my YouTube viewers as well, while I'm thinking of it. Oh yeah, she posted a really nice picture, Maddie. It'll be fun doing a side-by-side on that one. Hi again, Rhonda. All right, so last night I was showing you with the pebbles. I put these little teeny tiny pebbles on for the road, for the truck. And again, it's up to you, your taste or not your taste. So I'm going to be continuing putting them on, not tonight, but I just wanted to show you how this is coming together. Zoom in. Now, regarding Dawn's contest, we will be live Tuesday, September 28th. That'll be fun. Hello, Angela. Angela Campbell, good to see ya. So I will be putting a notice up about that contest, and Dawn's already posted about it. Okay, so I wanted to show you the stones that I put in here. I will be continuing it, like I said, not tonight. I'm not going to do it on camera. I'll just do it off camera. But I want you to see how it looks. And this is just something else for you to consider. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to color up a few things on here. We're rapidly getting this done, which is great. And I think it's turning into a really pretty piece. I hope you like it. All right. La-da-da. Angela, how are you doing? So I've got a raw sienna Brut Funner 520. Zoom in. And I'm going to go ahead and work on this mountain just a little bit. And I'm going to start off by putting a little bit of brown on top here. And then what I'm going to do, no better, no worse, says Angela, waiting on the angiogram. All right, keep us updated. The good news out of that is the no worse part. So I'm going to use a fern green, which is an Arteza A92, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on the descending part of the mountain here. Angela, as long as you've been able to color, I hope. So I'm going to run the green now into the brown. And notice how I'm blending that together. And again, I want you to notice that this green is totally different from anything else that I've used. We've got a lot of green in here, so you want to make sure that you differentiate that. And look how pretty that is looking. Yep, Angela says she's still working on the Julia Sperry Fanciful Fantasies. Yeah, you've been posting some really nice pieces. Okay, everybody see how pretty that mountain's coming out? Okay. Now, I'm going to darken it a little bit on the edges, same pencil. And I'm going to bring that green down just a little bit. You want that dimension, guys. We don't want this puppy looking flat at all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull another green. And this is a Brett Funner 101. And I'm going to go ahead and darken again along that line. And you'll notice that this is more of a bluish green. And that fits what we're trying to do, because our trees, you know, there would be trees on the mountain. And by giving them this bluish green color, that gives you some visual interest in your whole piece. All right. So we've got our 3 colors on our mountain. We've got our brown, we've got the 2 shades of green. Remember, you don't want to go with just one color, even if you're going to shade it. Always shade with a compatible color to add this interest. There we go. Beautiful. Now, also notice too that I'm going ahead and running this darker green down one side of the mountain. We'll give it some visual interest in doing that. And that looks pretty cool. So guys, tell me something interesting today that happened to you. Good stuff, maybe? There we go. Let's take a look at this. Zoom out. Isn't that pretty? Everything's coming together beautifully with this. All right. Now, I have noticed, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So I'm going to assume, oh, Maddie put up her old computer to store photos. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and put some lines on here because we've got some hay. That's really good, Maddie. Then you'll have a safe place for everything. And if you want to go ahead and add any extra lines, we can go ahead and do that as well. So I just want to make that look a little busier. Summertime, summertime. Maddie says I had to change around my whole room to make space, but got it done. Oh, I know the feeling. Okay, now we need to make the inside of our barn zoom in, look a little bit darker, right? So I'm using a brown called Fudge. And while we're at it, I know something's been missing out of this. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and add a few vertical lines on here. And that's going to make it look like that we've got some walls in the back, wood walls in the back. Because boy, that looks so weird without anything there. Now, when you do something like this, be sure you stagger off your lines here, because if you continue them down, it's going to look weird. You want these lines to be completely staggered. Does that make sense? And I'm going to put some little knots in the wood. And Rhonda, aren't you going to be doing some coloring tonight with your friend? Okay, so I got to let that ink dry. Summertime. And while that's drying, I am going to go ahead and we're going to get a couple of flowers done. Oh, you colored this afternoon. Okay, so you watched yesterday's video, right? That's right, she gets up really early. Gotcha. Oops. So what I'm using here is my Master 123 and my Prismacolor PC 916. Oh, she's working on a picture for her granddaughter. Oh, she liked what you did. Now, notice I'm going back and forth between the yellow and the gold to give that color a nice, or that flower a nice warm color set. Okay. Oh, hers is a 2-year-old and she's coloring one of the teddy bear pictures. Okay. So how's the coloring going with her? I hope you're teaching her depth, detail, and dimension. Okay, so back with this orange now. That way we don't just have a flat yellow. Beautiful. Da, da, da. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pink up these flowers, and I'm going to use my Ohuhu marker. This is my color 14. And I'm going to use that as a very light base. Excuse me. Oh, look how pretty that is, guys. So, are you going to post any of her pictures? Her name's Darla, right? So, I've got my pink in there, and now I'm going to come in with a really nice purple. Ginny, I am so sorry. Sorry. That's right, Ginny. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Master 2109, and I'm going to layer right on top of that marker. Oh great, you'll post it tomorrow, Ginny's? Okay. Where did I get Darla? Who knows? And now, I'm going to take a Prismacolor China Blue, and that color is PC 1100, and I'm going to pop a little bit of China Blue into this. So we'll have a combination here of blue and purple. And it's pretty hard to go wrong with that. And then these flowers over here, which are close by but not necessarily the same. Hello, Stephanie. This set over here, I'm going to go a nice blue. Now, it's a little bit hard to blend in a second color here because we've got such a smaller space. So, in this case, I'm going to take my same color and I'm going to shade in and darken where the folds are and my edges. And if you run into that situation, don't fuss about it, but make it look special, okay? A little bit of blend with my finger there. Okay, and I think I've got one more little blue flower down here. At least that's what I'm going to make it. Hi, Amy. Good to see ya. So are you hanging around tonight? Now I'm going to take my raw sienna, and we've got these flower stems that I want to take care of. So we'll go ahead and color that in. And that's going to pick that up. Hello, Helen. And it looks like this area right in between my flowers needs to be green, so I'll just quick catch that up here. Okay. Zoom out. Alright, so using my raw sienna Brett funner and my medium green Brett funner, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get these pumpkin stems colored. And I like to add just a little bit of green to my stems. Hi, Rita. So Helen, are you behaving yourself? Okay, so again, notice that I use my brown, a little bit of green. I just like to do that. I think the green just adds a little extra. Hello, Jean. Good to see you, Jean. Oops. Better, but still morning, of course. and you will be for a while to come. Jean, are you up to a little bit of coloring with us tonight? Maybe work on something simple like a mandala. Okay, now I'm also going to go ahead and pull in a little bit of brown and a little bit of green on my stems. And then some of them I'll just go to pure green. Oh, that's a good question. How is your leg? Gina's wearing cosplay cat from Ava Brown. Okay, good. Jean, how is your leg? Still have a big hole in your leg. Okay. Is the infection contained? So I'm going to go with a little bit of orange on the center of my flowers here. And that'll give us a nice little complement to this. And that orange is my Shuttle Art Warm Yellow 136. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that brown, which is the raw sienna. Yeah, Helen, Jean got a staph infection in her leg, and they've been working on it and draining on it to get that infection out of there. Okay, so I'm getting that brown in the center right there. And we've pretty much got that whole section taken care of here. Alright, let's pull out and take a look at this. A couple more things I'm going to do on it and I'll pop over to another project. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Alright, everybody see how beautifully that's coming together now. So, Jean, when that infection is completely clear, will they suture up the opening in your leg? Autumn Wreath is doing fine. I may even pop over to that tonight. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do our window here. And I'm going to use a very, very light blue. This is a muted turquoise. And this is PC 1088. Now, one of the things that I like to do with glass is I like to add a little bit of gray. And this is called Ginger Snap. from Brett Funner. And this is, let's see, just a little bit of gray on there, tinting with that blue. So this Ginger Snap is the Brett Funner K23 520 color set, and the blue is my Prismacolor PC 1088. And I'm going to go ahead and very, very lightly now hit that with my blender pencil. You're welcome, Jane. Now, this window, this view here is going to be a little bit tricky because we've got some ground and also some grass showing. So I'm going to continue my green grass color. You're welcome, Jean. Glad to help, of course. Jean, how's your mom doing? We all want to make sure that Marilyn's doing okay, and I hope that you're telling her that we're asking about her. Okay, so this area here is actually my green grass that we're seeing through the window, and we need to extend that. So, but she cries a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and shade in the green where that grass is showing through the window. And then the other area that's showing through. Now, I will eventually cover that with Pebble. But what I want to show you for now well, you give good. I'm glad that you're giving her my hugs and our hugs. I'm going to color this with brown because that'll be where the pebbles go. And that way we've got it looking a little bit different so that we know what the heck is going on. Now, we have a little bit of a car seat in here. So what I'm going to do with that is I want to go ahead and color that up a little bit, or draw on it first. And what I'm going to do is just put a little circle on there. and these little lines to kind of make it look like upholstery. Excuse me. And then on the very inside of the car, we still have our reds that we're dealing with. So this is my, hello Sandy, my Brettfunner 72. This is not from the 520 set. And I'm going to go ahead and color in that dashboard this reddish color. So we're making that part of the truck. Well, Amy, when you post, go ahead and post and ask for color suggestions. So you can see the dashboard now. You can see where the road is visible through it. And then I've got my little cushion here. All right. And I'm going to take my gray, zoom in. I'm going to take my gray and I'm going to just very lightly color in that glass with it. And interestingly enough, that makes it look like glass. We've got the blue here, we've got the gray, and then I'm going to put the color on the seat cushion. So on that cushion, I think a nice, oh, let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to go with a pinkish color on that. Now that may seem a little weird, but since we've already got the red here and we've got the red truck, we don't want to lose the seat cushion. All right. Oh, Helen, that sounds good. You said you had a veggie burger with lettuce and sauce. And Maddie says she's going to do sleepy time tea. All right. It all sounds good to me. Okay. Very, very light blue for the windshield. Hardly touching it here. Little tiny bit of blender pencil. Just to smooth it out. And we're in small enough of a space, I'm not worrying about the gray that I would normally put on glass like I did before. So we're good to go there. And don't forget now we've got a little bit of blue here on our mirror as well. And I will touch that with a tad of gray. I'll tell you, that gray and blue really makes a difference. There you go. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Now, look how that's taking shape, guys. Okay, what did I miss? The cushion by the cushion? A white erase of sorts on the side window. Well, that's pretty teeny tiny, but I can at least do it here. There we go. Summertime. We're doing well. All right, I'm going to do the two tail lights, and then I will pop over to one of my other projects. So our tail lights we're going to have in red. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. And actually, before I do that, let me clean that up. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and emphasize the insides of each area. And just outline that just a little bit. With a little bit of a smudge. And I'm also going to blend that in just a little bit because I want that red to be a little more apparent. And notice that I've got a slightly darker red on the bottom. And then because I want to indicate that that is definitely a light, we will go ahead and, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and just touch that up with a little bit of my pen. And this is my gel pen, Arteza White. Love it. Zoom out. And actually, I don't like that placement. Let's try this again. Zoom in. Zoom in. I'm actually going to move that over a little bit. Much better. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right, I think we're in pretty good shape. And one more quick thing while I've got it in hand is I'm going to go ahead and do my little pumpkin and squash tops. Only because they're there and I want to get them done. Little bit of yellow, little bit of green. And we're in good shape. Okay, zoom out. Oh, and one last thing that I want to fix, and then I will move on. This has been bugging me like crazy. Zoom in. Zoom in. All right, so this barn, there's this big white space right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the barn door and when that dries, I won't do this now because I've got to let this dry. I'll continue my gray and my brown down and then that'll be it for this. Oh, and I was actually doing the inside of my barn. My darker brown. So let me finish that up really quick too. All right, and now we've got an inside that makes sense. So I'm going to blend that after I sharpen it. And we've got that looking pretty good. So I can finish my gray. And this makes more sense now. And then I'll go ahead and pop in a little bit of my brown just to finish that one panel. So there's my gold and my brown. Much better. Zoom out. Zoom out. Looking pretty good. Any questions and any comments about the ease of doing this? Anything throwing you for a loop? And we really don't have much more to go. Just a few plants, the side mirror here, the running board, bumper, just little stuff now to do on this. Zoom out. And I hope that you can see what a nice project this is making. Okie dokie. Not too shabby. All right. Now, this is a very busy piece, but our truck is the main focus. And then as you're looking around at stuff, you see little things that pop out at you, little pleasures, and little nice things that have been done to it. Again, what mood do you want to convey to your viewing audience, right? What do you want your picture to say? Let me grab a little water. All right, would you guys like me to work on the wreath tonight? La-da-da. I've got the wreath, I've got the puppy, and I have the jug. Oop. So Jean says she's still packing to move. And Jean, refresh my memory, where are you moving to? Hi, Wanda. I'm sorry I missed you earlier. Okay, Rhonda's asking me to do the wreath. We can do that. Got a good portion done on the puppy, and we got our peach done. I love doing that peach. Done with the jug. I am really enjoying doing this piece for you. Okay, let's play around with the wreath. Oh, wonderful. Rhonda says, I'm just starting mine. It's from Worlds of Wonder. Oh, have fun. And Jean says that she loves Maddie's black and white photos. Yeah. I've got, actually, there are a couple of those photos that I want to color. So I think that would be fun. And it has the hummingbirds in the center. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going to attack these round things, oval things. We'll play with those. And I've got a couple of leaves to do too. So this is from Rhapsody in the Forest. I'm sorry, Rhonda, what do you mean, what am I using? And this is, I've got my raw sienna, which is my Brett Funner. And this is the out of the 520 set. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I wanted to top off here these little orange areas here with brown. And this is going to be a very light shading over the orange and the yellow. Now, the thing that I want you to notice is I'm going over the top of both of these colors. So I put my orange and yellow down. You can see how I went out in a dimensional color. Zoom in. Zoom in. And now I'm going to go through. I'm going to shade all of it with brown. So it's not just at the base, guys, it's over the entire thing. And I don't want you to be afraid in layering your colors. And the effect is absolutely gorgeous. Everybody clear what I'm doing with this? Oh, let me rotate that. So I put my gradation on the bottom from orange to yellow, and now I'm going over all of it with the brown. I'm not just staying at the bottom, which is what you probably expected. And the thing that I want you to notice is that brown is changing into two different colors because part of it's over the orange, part of it's over the yellow. Okay, and let me do a little bit of cleanup here. Whoops. And then you can see how sharp and clear this is going to look. Isn't that beautiful? Zoom out. Oh, Jean, I'm sorry you're having problems with your phone. All right, Jean, see you later. So is everybody clear about what I just did? I used the yellow-orange gradation, and then I put brown over the top of it. And that brown is coming out beautiful, beautiful colors. All right. Alrighty, hold on. Sorry for the camera movement. Okay, so I've got this area here now, and I'm going to go ahead and work on some of my wonky shaped items. And guys, I may have a little bit of a camera wiggle again. Hold on, I just got to check something. Hold on, power cord issue. All right, we'll see if that takes care of it. What a weird night, I'll tell you. Oh, and by the way, Wanda, that shelf that dumped on me, duct tape now. Zoom in. Alright, I'm using a Guanghai 160. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in as my base color on my leaf. And just for the purposes of orientation now, caffeine is a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and find all my other pieces that are similar in that shape, and I'm going to go ahead and color them in. And that way we can get an idea of where all these things are and what we need to color this green. All right, let me roll around here. Now, if you have a confusing wreath and that would help you to do that, like I said, go ahead and do that. And that just may help orient you to everything else that you're trying to put in on with your colors. Now, the only thing is, I would advise you is be careful about getting over rambunctious in doing that. So, let's say, for example, you decided that you wanted to do all your apples. Well, you may do that, but you may end up coloring them all the same. I think I mentioned this before. And it may turn out that you don't want to do that, that you want to have your apple colors vary a little bit. So at this point here where I've got these small items, I've been making some progress with my piece. This is where I'm going through and coloring them all the same. Zoom out. Zoom out. And what was that, Rhonda? That you wanted me to say again? And now I'm going to go through with my Arteza Expert 93, and I'm going to work on darkening the base here. So in this case, it's okay to go through and identify some of your pieces, but like I said, be careful of doing that. And I would suggest zoom in. The time that you do that is like what I'm doing now, where I've got zoom in, where I've got my little pieces here that I just want to go ahead and identify, and they're kind of getting lost in the mix. Okay. Zoom out. Now, I've introduced more green to this picture. So here's my tie, here's my green apple, and now I've got some other green things in here. So now what I'm going to do is go through and start balancing out my green. Zoom in. And again, for starters, this is my basil green Arteza 093. Isn't that a pretty color? So now what I want to do is start capturing those things that I want to go ahead and make that same color. Now, if you have a color that you really like I do this basil green, I'm just going to go ahead and do my variance by shading and not by adding any other pencil color to it. So as with everything, there's our exceptions to the rules here. Zoom in. And now what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm looking at those items now that I want to be green and are protruding into the center and the outside because it's really like garnish now. This basil green, this is one of my fav colors. Okay, zoom in. All right, let me move you up just a little bit. You'll be oriented in a minute. And what I want you to see now is how pretty now these little garnishes are going to look. Whoops, let me get you over to the right spot. And this is where things like now my stems and my tiny pieces that are sticking out towards the center are going to look really good with this green. All right. And let me roll you over this way. And see, I've got these lines now that are intertwining back here. So those are perfect now for my greens. Anything right now, anything that what I'm looking for now is anything that's got my little narrow lines. That actually looks like a leaf right there. And again, I don't want you being nervous or having, having panic attacks if you don't know what something is. All right, let me sharpen up. And let me clean up a little bit. Okay. So now we've got some really small areas here. No worries, take your time. And I absolutely want you to keep in mind, always, that no matter how small your area is, you treat it with the same importance that you would your larger areas. Trust me, it makes a difference. If you find yourself hurrying through to get something done, that's where you need to stop and take a breath and let the project sit. Or if you're coloring an area just to get something done, that's not the right reason to color. Okay. Well, let me zip you around here. Oh, how pretty. Okay, rolling, rolling, rolling. Here we go. Okay, I've got a few of these also, so I'm going to go ahead and color those up with this green as well. All right, let's get rolling here. La da da. I will in a moment, Helen. Be glad to. Absolutely. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Now, even though I've got, well, thank you, Helen. She says, looks fabulous. Even though I've only got my little sprigs right now in green, I want you to see now how this is starting to balance out and look really cool. All right, couple more spots in green. Zoom in. And again, guys, and I can't say this enough, as you color, you're going to start developing a taste. And when you develop that taste for coloring, you'll know what looks good and what doesn't look good. And look how pretty now, that green. Oh, Angela says, very well done. Did someone say caffeine? Just off to make another coffee. All right, so let me go ahead and get this little guy done. Zoom in. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else that I did regarding this green. Zoom in. zoom in, zoom in, is these other little sprigs that I did in yellow. That was my base color. And I'm going back over now with this green. And that's going to make a huge difference in this entire project. So now I'm going to go back through. Won't take me long at all. And this is taking my basil color now, and it's adding a little taste of this lighter yellowish green. And the neat thing about it now, if you think about it, is this yellowish green now is side by side with the basil green that I just put in. And that's giving us a beautiful shading of these two colors. And this is what's going to keep your piece from being dull. And the reason that this works out so well is because I'm using, I could leave some tips as the pale green as an option. And the reason this is going to look so neat is because by using the same green on here that I used, the pure green, the pure basil color, the colors relate to each other beautifully. And as Helen mentioned, for a little option, you could go ahead and leave tips that first color. So right now, I'm tying together all my colors, my greens, as I'm going through this. Let me sharpen. Summertime, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to slip off camera here. And of course, when Angela says biscuit, she means cookies, the Anzac cookies. And then Helen says, or you can add a glow to the tip with a neon yellow highlighter that she's known for liking. Yep. Exactly. Okay, a couple more of these to do, and then I'll pull out and you can see how this all looks. Okay. Now, one of the things that you might notice is when I color down these little stems, I'm not worried about this green going over the edges a little bit in this case, because what that does is that softens that black and it gives it a little bit of a halo-ish green. And for this particular project, that works fine. All right, a couple more, and then I'll pull out. So the concept here is I'm using this basil green, both as a pure color and also as an overlay over yellow. And that's giving us a beautiful, beautiful color combination with this whole thing. All right, one more spot here. There we go. So letting it go, a little bit of mushy on my stems. Gets that colored over those black lines. And that's what I want. Okay, let me pull out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. What do you think? All right, drink of water here. So now what I'm doing is I'm starting to build in the green in our wreath. Now again, if you don't like my style, that's fine. I just want to show you these options for doing this stuff. Okay. Now let me roll you around here. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So now we've got these little oval things to deal with. Again, having a clue what they are, no biggie. So watch this. I'm still taking my basil green. And then I'm going to, excuse me for reaching across the camera, I'm going to use my canary yellow. Next to it. And then I'm going to dampen that down with my gold. And then I'm going to use a dark brown. Let's see where we go here. One moment, please. Hold on here. And then I'm going to take, not that one. Oh my. My Cocoa Brown, which is my Arteza A036. Now again, don't get hung up on brands. And introduce some brown to that. And then blend with my yellow. Now, my pencils are fighting me a little bit, so I'm going to do the next one slightly differently. Let me roll you around here. Let's see. We'll make that the narrow end. So this is, yeah, so there's the top. I'm sorry. So here's the bottom. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my cocoa brown, and I'm going to blend in my green. And then I'm going to come up with my yellow. Now, actually, you can use yellow or gold for this. And then I'm going to back blend over all three colors because I want that to mush together. And I'm going back over a little bit of my brown with my green just to get that blending up to snuff. All right. Now, this is a very distinct set of colors. We come back here. So there's my brown, back blending my green, and I want that green and that brown to merge to get that darker color that I'm after. And then I'm going to hit this with gold. I actually think these may be some kind of nuts, and that's basically what I'm after. All right, and let's see here. Neaten that up a little bit. All right, let me do a couple more so I can show you how this is going to look. Now, I've got some on the inside, right by this apple here. So I'm going to go ahead and do those. Now, doing something like this, guys, I don't want you to be afraid of going with something that has an unusual color like this. So this is giving me kind of a, geez, how to describe it, like a kind of a dirty nut color. And that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, let me pull you around. La, da, da. Excuse me for moving you. Guys, when you're coloring, I want you to think outside of the box. And if something looks a little weird in nature, color it up. Okay, I think I've got a line missing here, so we need to fix that. Let's see, so this goes around. We'll put a little bit of a line here. And I'll have to let that dry. So here's my brown, back blending with my green. And then back blending with my gold. Anybody have any questions about that? About what I'm doing? Honestly, guys, you don't want your piece to get boring. You want to surprise and delight. So now I'm going back over with a little bit of brown. Darken up that gold just a little bit. And the entire round thing. Okay, let me go back here. Yeah, I think Rhonda says I love doing small detail work. I do too. Because to me, that's the thing that makes the piece look like you care about it. Rhonda, did you ever get your light? So there's my brown. Here's my green. And then I'll touch it up. And Wanda says the tiny things are her least favorite. Yeah, I remember when you were doing that gold in what I call the slave girl, the one that got the banner. And you were saying how much you didn't like it. Okay, now this little guy here looks like he's covered up. So I'm going to go brown and then into gold. Yeah, it was a lot of gold, Wanda. But you stuck with it, and oh my gosh, everybody loved it. Honestly, Wanda, when you did that piece and got the cover for it, and then they were judging about having artists on the cover of the color, or on the back cover of the coloring book, I really think that slave girl was influential in their decision. Okay. So there's my brown. And then my green. And then my gold. All right. The thing that I like about doing detail work is, to me, that's when you're filling in the last pieces of what you're coloring. And that's what makes everything come together. Now, I know that didn't apply to you, Rhonda, when you were doing the slave girl. That was just part of what needed to be done, but oh my gosh, so pretty. Okay. Now this is where my little dirty spot is because I accidentally smeared some stuff, but I can recoup that and fix it. This is why I don't want you having heart attacks about stuff. Because normally you can fix it. Oh man, this is pretty. All right, so let's blend this. Boy, that looks messy, doesn't it? It won't look so bad when I get the other colors in. Okay, whoops. Let me pop over to this one here. I think that stops there. All right, well, you guys get the idea. Zoom out. So Sandy says, when I was doing my dog in the Jane Madej book, I wasn't happy with it. So the next day I fixed it using some more medium color and it was much better. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Zoom out. Zoom out. Now, everybody see how pretty this is starting to look because of the medley of colors. We've got the green going here. We've got those little nut things happening. And this is one of those times when you know, you're coloring and it looks like, you know, it just seems like I'm coloring and coloring and coloring, and then boom, all of a sudden it pops out a gorgeous picture. And as I said before, the second that coloring becomes a job, you need to stop doing it for a while. Zoom in. And just like what Sandy did, you wait a day or two or whatever. Let me just do this little cluster, and then I'll probably pop over to the puppy for a while. Now, if it gets to the point that you can't tell, zoom in, zoom in. If it gets to the point that you can't tell what anything is, at that point then, you need to rely on the colors around you and keep going with the pattern that you're working. Okay, I think we're good for now. Oh, I see one that I missed. Hold on here. I've got a little springy spritz thing. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. Let's take a look at this whole shebang here. Zoom out. So, what you might have thought were some wonky colors when I was working with the green and the brown and the yellow are actually working into this beautifully. Everything is starting to harmonize and come together. So Rhonda says, I call it artistic choice, lets you have some leeway. Exactly. Let me do something real quick. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So this is looking a little brighter than I want. So this is my other set that I'm just going to go ahead and do a very light shading of the brown. And that's going to tone that down beautifully. So if you have an area that you have colored and your color gets away from you a little bit, you can always tone it down with a top coat of color. And again, this brown and orange and yellow operate beautifully together. Don't be afraid of your browns, guys. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Now, this is where I'm going to go ahead and use my Faber-Castell ivory, because I want to go ahead and smooth out that brown. And again, not white, but the ivory. Beautiful. And then I'll tidy up a little bit here. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Zoom out. Any questions or comments before I switch over? Zoom out. My berries here, I'm just going to smooth a little bit with my ivory. There we go. Okay, this is where we are so far. And we really don't have too much more to go on this one either. We've just got all these little small areas to do. Now, if you're doing a wreath and you run into the problem, you know, that it's a little busy, all you have to do is go through and find all your similar objects and color them accordingly. Again, I wouldn't have done it with the apples because apples change. But now as I'm getting into my teeny tiny areas, you know, I've got my little round things here. I see a couple of tiny pine cones that I missed earlier, and I'll take care of that. And guys, I think I showed you this before, that I went ahead and got my outside frame color on here, and I only have a couple more steps on this one to do. Yeah, I did tell you. The Christmas trees, the bow, the blanket, and the bells. And then this one's done. So this one's coming along well as well. All right. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into here. Rhonda, you feeling more comfortable about doing your wreath? Okay. I'm pretty proud of that peach. I think it turned out beautifully. So let's go ahead and play with this one here again. And this is where I went to Google and I was looking at a peach picture, which helped. And guys, that's another point I want to bring up. If you have to go to Google to look for images, don't feel like you're failing, because you're not at all. How do you think artists get inspired? Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 new colors on here for my dark, medium, light, because I don't want my peaches to be exactly the same. Da, da, da. So I've got my orange and my pink, and then my darker raspberry-ish color. Okay. Dark, light, medium is what I use. That's what Wanda uses. I call it DLM. Zoom in. Zoom in. And you guys asked me to do a grayscale that had a lot of black on it. So this is the one that I picked. Let's see, we got to figure out roughly where our peach is. So I'm going to work with my darkest color first. Zoom in. And I had to go ahead and draw a little image, or not image, but a little circle here, because it was so dark that I just needed to figure out where that peach was sitting. So this color that I'm using is Crimson Lake PC 925. Now, can you see on camera how that's really showing up? Look at that and that. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So for those that think that your color doesn't show up, yes it does. Now I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter with my darkest color because I'm going to be blending it now with my other ones. So as I come to that edge here, I'm just barely having any shadow or any, excuse me, pressure there. Keep that in mind with your grayscale that we're blending our colors together. Same thing with line art. So your edges towards the color that you're going to blend have to get lighter and lighter. You know, like when I color a mushroom and I blend them together. Okay. So here's my dark. We'll go ahead and get right in that little teeny tiny spot here. And remember, you don't want to color in the stark lines. No panty lines, guys. Somebody needs to tell Shelly I'm using that line of hers now. Okay. All right, my medium color now is going to be what's called cranberry. Red Funner. 520 set. And as you can see on here now, we've got lots of medium. Oh, excuse me, wrong ones. Hold on. I'm sorry. Wanda, you should have slapped my hand. I want to go to my light color, which is my bright orange 101 shuttle art. So I'm tinting in my light portion. Isn't that bird pretty? I love how that sounds. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And Wanda is recommending that I should add some yellow to the peaches. Okay. And I know that it looks a little wonky just adding these spots of color, but it works. It really does. Okay. Different. Okay, I've got a dark Naples ochre, yellow Faber-Castell, go ahead and add a little bit of yellow to that. And what I'm actually doing is the spots that I'm adding the yellow, I'm adding that to where I would have put my medium colors with my next color. But I've got two shades of medium. I've got a light medium and a dark medium. So I'm going ahead and adding this yellow to my light medium. Because remember, I did dark, my light color, and then I'm going back with my medium. Okay, and now I'm going, what's left is my medium area, my dark medium, as opposed to my light medium. I talked about this yesterday. That if you have a medium area that's got dark spots to it or dark tones to it, you can go ahead and use a separate medium color. So both medium, but one darker than the other. Oh, is this turning out pretty? And let's go ahead and get our little teeny tiny centers here. All right, zoom out. Zoom out. Isn't that pretty? Now this is where I'm going back in now with my previous colors and just blending this in and blending it together. And I'm making sure to blend between my very dark color here. And then I'm going to take my Magic Ivory Faber-Castell 103, and I'm going to very lightly now go over this. Zoom in, and I want you to see now how really soft and fuzzy and pretty that makes this look. Here, let me look at something here. Is this view close enough for you guys to see detail? And what I want you to see is how gorgeous this is starting to look now, and soft and peachy. Oops, I don't want to go down there. All right, hold on. Let me back up here. I don't want to use that ivory over my darkest part. That was a slip up, sorry. And the reason that I don't want to do that is because otherwise it's going to have white streaks in it. So what you do is you take very gently your blender pencil and soften out that dark part. There we go, much better. And I'm deliberately doing a close-up because I want you to see this. Okay, where was I? Ivory. Oh man, absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm just blending with my finger. Zoom out. Zoom out. Not hard, guys. I'm telling you, not hard. Everybody clear about why I didn't want to put that ivory on the darkest part of my peach? Now, if you want to touch up with your blender pencil, that's fine. I'm just going to go just a touch, a little bit to the edges here. Oh, man. Doesn't that look beautiful? Okay. Let's not fuss with it too much. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right. Doesn't that look terrific, guys? All right. Let's see what we can do with the pear. I'm not sure what this little guy over here is. If somebody has an idea, let me know. Okay. So let's do the pear. So are we all going to be hungry now for peaches and pears? Oh, man. Da, da. La, da, da. Okay. Yeah, you think it's a smaller peach? Okay. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. Now the pear, plum. Sandy, you're right. You're right. It's a plum. Cool. Okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make it a plum. Thank you, Sandy. I think you're right because it's got these little speckles on it here. Yeah, that'll separate the colors, exactly. Thank you, Sandy. All right. All right, now I'm going to do something a little bit different with the pear, and I'll explain why, of course. So, on my dark part, I'm going to do this yellowish color. And this is, what is this? Faber-Castell Dark Naples 184. zoom in. So I'll do a close-up view again so you can see this. Gee, ILene, no pressure here not to screw it up. Oh my. Okay, now here's what's a little bit different about my dark area here. The color I just used is actually gonna, all right, let me do my light first, hold on. Okay. So now I'm going to go back on my dark, and I'm sorry, that color I just used, what was it, a canary yellow, PC916. And this green, jasmine green, is from my Brett Funner 520 set. Okay. Now, a lot of times a pear can have the tinge of a green on it, right? Doesn't that look cool? So I'm going to put my green on the outside here. And then I'll bring it in a little bit. All right, now let me come in with my medium, which is my dark Naples, which is the same that I used on my dark area, but I knew I was going to be putting the green on it. So that's why this is going to work. And my medium actually has two shades to it, but this time, instead of using two pencils, I'm going to use just my one pencil and let the two shades of the gray tint the color for me. So there's two ways of doing that. Like I said, if the medium has two shades, you can use two different pencils. I'm talking about medium. Or if it has two shades, you can use one pencil and let the shading of the gray come through. And this is where so many people are mistaken about grayscale, is they think that you just need to do everything you can to get rid of the gray. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. Okay, now, this yellow, my light yellow, is looking a little too bright to me. So I'm going to go over it with my medium and tone that down just a little bit. And then I'm going to use my finger push those colors together. You know, I like to do that once in a while. And I'm still shading a little bit more with my medium color. Smoothing it out. And then I'm going to use my medium and I'm going to come up on my stem. And I'm just going to let that stem do the work for me this time. Wanda, have you ever done that with your grayscale? Is just let the grayscale do the work for you with your color? Either because maybe it was like a really small area, for example. Okay. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a goldenrod PC 1034. And in my dark areas, I'm going to use that. Okay, Amy, I'm on for another 10 more minutes. I'm so glad you could be here. Yeah, it's a sometimes, but not usually. Exactly. That's a very, very rare occurrence for me. This is maybe the second time I've done it. Okay, now I'm going to admire my work. Oops, gotta stay on camera. Oh man. Hey, take pleasure in yourself when you do a good job, guys. I don't know, Wanda. It's a sacrilege for me to not use, you know, different colors on the different grays. I mean, it just so goes against my nature. So yeah. And actually, I ended up not doing it on the stem. I added a secondary color. Just couldn't bring myself to do it. Oh, I'm so funny sometimes. Okay, now most peaches. Oops, let me do one more thing. Is just add a little more of the green here. Okay, now watch this. I mean, you want to talk about details? You know how peaches have little teeny tiny black dots on them? Here we go. I mean, you want to talk authentic? Rhonda says, ILene, you make me laugh, and my fur baby is looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah. Now tell me that that doesn't look like an authentic peach. Pear, Pear, excuse me, Pear. Oh, what day is today? I don't know. Oh, better be Monday or else I missed my trash collection. Zoom out. Look at that. What do you think? I gotta be careful when I laugh or else I pee. Oh, that's why we wear special undergarments. Oh, I'm bad. All right, do you guys like what I did? Do you have any questions? Did you learn something? And if you don't like it, you can tell me. Do you like the way that I added the extra green on it? Yes, no, maybe. Zoom out. Let's take a look at this whole piece. I'll tell you what, I am really liking this jug that I did for you. Okay. And I'm just going to blend this a little more. And I think it's turning out beautifully. And I think Sandy is absolutely correct that this is a plum, so that's going to be a beautiful piece to do. Okay. You know, I always ask this, questions, comments. Did you learn something? That's the most important thing for me. Did you learn something? And are you learning that you can do black grayscale? That's the whole idea of this. Zoom out. I don't know what more to do to show you that you can do black grayscale. Okay. I'm going to call it for tonight, unless anybody has any specific questions. And by the way, again, this one's coming from my heart, guys. I really, really want to thank you for the gift certificates that you guys periodically send for the group. I really appreciate that. It helps me do things like this. I love you guys, and you guys are great. So that just bubbled up in me, and I really wanted to tell you that. But look how neat that pear looks with that green on it. All right, guys. Good night. Love you. Let's see here. Guys, joyous coloring. I hope you had fun. I sure did. And this is turning into a drop-dead gorgeous picture. So love you all. Be kind to each other, as you guys always are. And I will see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. And please, please share this broadcast. Even if people don't color, they can come in and watch and enjoy. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.